The scroll smelled like cheap sake and bad decisions. Ino had read countless jutsu scrolls in her life, but none of them had ever been written in what looked like beer stains. It reeked of desperation, madness, and just a little bit of vomit. How bad could it be, she thought, before activating the jutsu. Somewhere in the void, Morgoth turned his head. Ino found the scroll under what was left of the Yamanaka flower shop, buried beneath the remains of a sake crate and a crushed bonsai. The scroll was ancient, its once pristine parchment now stained with something suspiciously resembling beer. The ink was smeared, and parts of the text looked like they'd been written by a man mid-blackout. She tilted her head. What kind of jutsu scroll smells like a bar fight? There was only one way to find out. The moment she activated it, everything went straight to hell. The ground cracked beneath her. The sky went from bright blue to a swirling void of darkness. Somewhere in the distance, Kakashi sighed, realizing another weird event was unfolding in Konoha, and decided to take the long way around. Then the air froze. A deep guttural voice, ancient and not of this world, rumbled through existence. Who dares summon me? A rift in space tore open, and from its depths stepped Morgoth, the original Dark Lord, the master of Sauron, the literal bane of existence itself. He was huge, towering over the rubble of Konoha like an unstoppable force of destruction. His armor was blacker than any knight, and his eyes burned with endless malice. Even the flames in the wreckage dimmed, as if terrified of offending him. Ino blinked. Oh, shh. Morgoth's fiery gaze locked onto her. Him, a literal god-tier villain, looking at her, a simple kunoichi. This was the worst day of her life. A gust of wind blew the scroll open, revealing its full title at last. The Drunken Shinobi's Final Mistake. Oh. Ino had just summoned Morgoth through a jutsu created by a shinobi who had been absolutely smashed. That explained a lot. Morgoth sneered. Mortal, what binding is this? The scroll glowed blood red. A second later, Ino was yanked off her feet and teleported directly onto Morgoth's massive armored shoulder. What the fuck? The glow from the scroll intensified, and then mere words appeared. Ino squinted, trying to read them through her rising panic. To banish the Dark Lord, you must outdrink him. She blinked. Wait, what? Morgoth read it too. He went utterly still. Then, for the first time since his exile from Arda, the Dark Lord of Middle-earth let out a low, incredulous laugh. A drinking challenge. The entire world trembled. Then, with a flick of his massive hand, two monstrous sake bowls appeared out of thin air, each one large enough to drown an Akimichi. Drink, mortal, Morgoth boomed, or your world burns. Ino looked at the massive sake bowl in front of her, then at Morgoth's literal mountain-sized one, and then back at the scroll. A drinking challenge. A drinking challenge. She was a kunoichi, a member of the Yamanaka clan. She had spent years at Konoha bars, throwing back shots with Anko, Kurenai, and Tsunade herself. Morgoth had no idea what he'd just signed up for. Morgoth picked up his bowl, the liquid sloshing like an entire lake of pure alcohol. He brought it to his lips and downed it all in one go. The earth shook, flames flared, the wind screamed. Then Morgoth slammed the empty bowl down again. "Your turn," he said. Ino cracked her knuckles. "Alright, buddy, let's dance." She lifted her own, still absurdly large, sake bowl and drank every last drop. The villagers, what few had been revived by Nagato and had no choice but to witness this absolute fever dream, watched in stunned silence. Then Ino slammed her bowl down, and the game began. Morgoth grinned. He gestured, and 2 more bowls appeared. "Impressive, mortal. But I am Morgoth, master of the void. I cannot fall." Ino smirked. "Yeah, well, I'm Ino Yamanaka, and I've drunk with Tsunade." She grabbed the next bowl and downed it, even faster than before. Konoha gasped. Morgoth narrowed his eyes. His turn. He drank. The wind howled. Ino drank. The air vibrated. The bowls kept refilling, and they kept going. By round six, Morgoth's aura flickered. By round 10, his massive frame swayed. By round 15, his fire dimmed. By round 20, he stared at his bowl as if trying to remember what existence was. Ino, meanwhile, was utterly hammered, but still functioning on sheer Konoha resilience. "You good there, big guy?" she slurred. Morgoth's fist trembled. His aura wavered. He growled, but it sounded more like a drunken mumble. "This cannot be." The villagers held their breath. Then, with the weight of 1,000 shattered dreams, Morgoth fell backward and crashed into the ground. Ino stared at him, the Dark Lord of Middle-earth, unconscious, defeated by sake. The moment Morgoth hit the ground, the scroll glowed blinding white, and with a deafening boom, the rift above Konoha snapped shut, sucking the Dark Lord back into the void. And just like that, it was over. A stunned silence stretched across the ruined village. And then, from somewhere in the crowd, "Ino-sama, Ino-sama, Ino-sama." And that was the day Yamanaka became a legend. The next morning, Ino woke up to the worst headache in human history. Shikamaru stood over her, looking half impressed, half horrified. "So, you drank Morgoth under the table." Ino groaned. "Please don't remind me." A messenger hawk arrived. She lazily reached for the note. "To the great lady Ino Yamanaka," it read. "I acknowledge your strength, but know this, I shall return. Next time, we shall have a rematch. Until then, I train. Morgoth." Ino screamed into her pillow. The end.